Given the series of cost increase that we have seen in recent months, and with perhaps more to come, and that we are still in this pandemic fighting mode, would the government consider delaying the GST increases so as to avoid adding on to the inflationary pressure?
I thank Mr. Leong for his question, which is, I think, a question on the minds of many Singaporeans. There are actually two distinct aspects of that question. One is, can we delay the date that GST takes effect? But the second, and the much more important question is, can we delay the impact of that increase on Singaporeans? So for the first one, we had announced in Budget 2018 that we plan to raise the GST by 2 percentage points, from 7% to 9%. And we said then that it would be sometime from 2021 to 2025. We said the exact timing would depend on the state of the economy and how much our expenditures grow and how buoyant our existing taxes are. And we said all that before COVID-19. Then the pandemic came along. So it's not something we can put off forever, but the exact timing is something that we have to think about. In deciding the timing for the GST hike, we are carefully considering all the overall economic conditions. The economy is recovering steadily, and barring fresh disruptions, it should grow in step with global economic recovery. And we expect GDP to grow by 3 to 5% in 2022. But this brings me to the second question, which is the more important one, which is irrespective of whatever date we may say that GST takes effect, can we delay the impact on Singaporeans? And the answer is that we have designed it such that, yes, we can delay the impact on Singaporeans. Through the assurance package, for the majority of Singaporeans, we will delay the impact for them effectively by 5 years. And for the lower income, the impact on them will be delayed effectively for 10 years.
The second question is that we noted that there are some cost increases that we have to have for some of the service provided government. But will MTI work with some ministry to coordinate some of the increases where it's within the control of the government? For example, like revising the annual values of the HDB flat, which will actually lead to increase in property in tax they have to pay, and also electricity prices, where they will affect a majority of people, and even the coffee shops are now using that as an excuse to increase the prices for the drinks and more.
If you recall, about 20 months ago, that was between January to May 2020, that was when there were surge and very, very high demand for masks. And during that period, MTI and CCCS, we all swung into action, monitored the prices of the mask on a weekly basis, and we took proactive actions and sought price information from e-commerce platform. And that certainly helped to shape the necessary behavior by the retailers and organizations. So I want to assure the member that the government is committed to ensuring that Singapore has a conducive and competitive business environment for companies to thrive, but at the same time, a wide range of choices for consumers.
In view of the situation today, given the answer that MOS has shared, is the government veering towards the formation of anti-profiteering committees as a way to track prices and how they affect our people on the ground? The second question, again, is a pickup from what Minister Chan shared as a way to combat inflation. And he raised, and this is in the case of businesses, looking at meaningful ways and effective ways to lower regulatory costs, which include improving regulatory efficiency, simplifying processes, and removing unnecessary licenses. What has been the government's progress on lowering regulatory costs for businesses as a way of combating inflation?
MTI and all economic agencies are working very hard, in particular in the last 2 years, to keep a lead on the business cost increase. And we do so by carefully managing our supply side constraints, our domestic supply side constraints. And in terms of prices, coming back to it, we will continue to monitor prices and inflation very closely. And we are prepared to adjust policies where necessary, and we understand the concerns of businesses and Singaporeans, and we will do whatever we can to mitigate the cost pressures that's being felt and the effects of inflation.